Let's focus on the linearity property as one of the properties of divisibility. It tells us that for all D, N, M, A, and B, or other references will use other letters C or variables, as long as they are integers, if D divides N and the same D divides M, then D divides a certain expression A N plus B M. So we're going to show that from these two conditions, this is true. Now, according to the definition of divisibility, if we could say that D divides N, we could say, or we could come up with an equation stating that N could be equal to D times any certain variable, let's say E, okay, where E is an integer as well. Okay? So if D divides N, then N can be expressed as a product of D and another integer, E. Okay? If this is true, then we can also say that if D divides M as a second situation, then we can also say that M is equal to the product of D and let's say another where F is also an integer. Okay, now from here, we can actually reach this point here if we are going to introduce A and B respectively. Now, let's say, let DE is equal to A and DF is equal to B. Okay? In short, it's a result. A is the product of D and E, and B is a product of D and F as well. Hence, if we are going to have an expression, let's say AN plus BM could be equal into an expression where A is DE. So we have here DE times N plus for our B is DF times M. Take note that we're trying to introduce this so that we could come up with this expression later. Now from here, we can actually use the associativity of multiplication. You have En plus D times Fm. Okay? Then with that, we can have here this form. You will have 2 factor D and you have an expression of En plus Fm. Okay, so then take note that once we have this expression here, AN plus BM equal to an expression where D can be a factor of, result of a product of D in a certain expression. Of course, we know this since N and M as well as E and F are integers, then we could come up with an expression for divisibility which tells us that D divides AN plus BM, where of course this is any integer. And what is this, by the way? This is the end goal of this property. So in short, this tells us that if a certain D divides N and the same D divides M, if we could come up with an expression where N is a factor of one term and M is a factor of another term and they're under addition, the entire expression is also divisible, or divisible by D, or D divides that certain linear expression. So this is properties, laws, and theorems. Please subscribe now.